Who's actually going to get the most out of a high-end, AI-ready gaming rig like the msi Aegis R2, and who should simply walk away? Is it worth the price tag for the average weekend warrior who just wants to play a few titles at 1080p, or does it finally make sense for the serious gamer who streams, edits, and wants AI-assisted features without having to build a PC from scratch? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last couple of weeks setting up this machine in a typical living room gaming corner, swapping out my old 2017 tower for the Aegis and documenting how it behaves when I throw a mix of modern shooters, open-world adventures, and a little bit of video work into the mix. The decision to go with a pre-built, especially a renewed one, feels like a gamble for many buyers. On the one hand, you dodge the hassle of picking every component, wiring everything together, and dealing with BIOS quirks. On the other, you inherit whatever the previous owner did to the chassis and you're locked into whatever MSI decided when the unit left the factory. That tension is what most people wrestle with before they click add to cart. Let's start with who really benefits. The Aegis R2 ships with an Intel Core Ultra 9285, essentially a 12-core, 24-thread monster that's built to handle heavy multitasking. Pair that with an RTX 5070 Ti, and you have a GPU that can comfortably push 1440p at high frame rates, or even dip into 4K on titles that aren't GPU starved. If you're a streamer who wants to run OBS, a game, and a browser tab with chat all at once, that Pugpoo combo removes the bottleneck you'd hit on a mid-range PC. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM is another sweet spot. Modern games like Cyberpunk 2077 or Starfield can eat up 16GB on their own, and the extra headroom lets you keep background applications open without stuttering. And the 2TB NVMe SSD gives you enough space for a decent game library while the high throughput keeps load times sub-minute even on texture-heavy worlds. Now, imagine you're a content creator who dabbles in upscale textures or uses neural-style filters while editing video. MSI markets the AI badge as a selling point, and the Ultra 9 includes built-in AI acceleration that some Adobe and DaVinci tools can tap into. In practice, I ran a short 4K footage clip through an AI upscale plugin and saw the GPU handling the extra math without pulling the frame rate of my game. For anyone who already leans on AI in their workflow, that's a tangible benefit that goes beyond just raw gaming horsepower. On the flip side, if you're a budget-conscious gamer who primarily plays at 1080p and doesn't care about streaming or AI features, the Aegis is probably overkill. A $200 plus pre-built with a 32-core CPU and a 5070 Ti will cost you significantly more than a similarly spec'd custom build, and you'll be paying for the convenience of a boxed product. Those savings could instead fund a better monitor, a premium headset, or even a second controller for couch coop sessions. Also, the renewed label means the unit has been inspected, tested, and refurbished, but it's not brand new. That translates to a lower price, sure, but it can also mean minor cosmetic wear, tiny dents, or a slightly faded logo that's not a functional issue but might matter if you're picky about aesthetics. One of the hidden trade-offs I discovered early on is the case design. MSI's Aegis line uses a compact tower that looks sleek, but the compactness limits internal clearance for future upgrades. The RTX 5070 Ti fits, but if you ever want to swap in a next-gen RTX 6090, you'll likely run into space constraints or need a custom cooling solution. The same goes for storage. While 2TB is generous today, the drive bays are not as modular as a traditional ATX case. Adding a second SSD is doable, but you'll need to be comfortable with the cramped interior. For users who love to tinker and upgrade every few years, that restriction can feel like a deal-breaker. Thermal performance is another practical point. The Aegis relies on a proprietary cooling system that MSI claims is optimized for the Ultra CPU and RTX GPU. In my real-world tests, the system stayed under 75°C during long gaming sessions, which is fine for most users. However, in a hot summer apartment with the room temperature hitting 30°C, the fan spun up louder than I'd like during intense moments in a multiplayer shooter. The noise level was noticeable but not enough to be disruptive if you're wearing headphones. If you're planning a silent bedroom setup, you might need to invest in additional acoustic treatment or consider a different case altogether. Another nuance that buyers often overlook is the software side. The Aegis ships with Windows 11 Home pre-installed, which is fine for most gamers, but the Home Edition lacks some of the advanced networking and BitLocker features that power users appreciate. The machine also comes with MSI's own control suite Dragon Center for monitoring performance, tweaking fan curves, and accessing AI settings. That software is fairly intuitive, but